Hi friends, it's a travel day. Please enjoy my stories or whatever else might be on my mind today. This is Box Canyon Road coming straight out of the southern exit of Joshua Tree National Park, going through a box canyon, which is a huge big wash, a waterway that historically put water into the Salton Sea, which is on the other end of this road. It's one of the most interesting drives we've had on this trip. Some of this reminds me of the Badlands in South Dakota. Well, I guess my brakes work just fine, including the auxiliary brakes on the Jeep. I think he's going to pull off and change his underwear. California State Recreation Center for the Salton Sea. Somewhere here is the visitor center. We stopped here, but there was no one manning the booth. So we'll come back and pay later, I guess, after we find a campground. I read this sign wrong and I turned right. I should have turned left. And why is that? Because this is a dead end. It's not the campground. We had to unhook the Jeep, and we drove up to the campground while Lynn sat and waited by the table, and then we came back and did an 8-point turn to get the motorhome out of the dead end, because you can't turn around 65 feet of stuff. That's 40 plus the Jeep in a dead end like that. So we're on our way back to the campground, and it turns out that it's a very nice campground. Huge big parking lot for the visitor center. No problem making a U-turn there if you needed to. And we've already paid for our spot. We're in numbers 8 and 9. I pulled into 8, and the trees were too close to get my slide out, so I had to back out and go into number 9. Here comes Roger all by himself, because Cheryl is driving my Jeep, so I didn't have to hook it back up again. Hi friends, we've moved again from Joshua Tree National Park to the Salton Sea. It's the visitor center. It's $30 a night full hookups. And I'm going to walk to the sea. Caution! Harmful algae may be present in this water. Stay away from the scum. Closed area to motor vehicles. I don't think that counts my feet. I was here 20 years ago, and seems like the vegetation wasn't as high, of course. Hey, tomorrow, the next day, we're going to go down to Slab City and see all the artwork. The Salton Sea. Oops, don't want to go in the sticker bushes. The Salton Sea. So I'm guessing that this is salt or dead fish. Doesn't smell bad. Doesn't smell like anything. It sure does feel like fish scales, though. I don't know. Probably need to go to the visitor center, learn something. Maybe learn where the path was. I'm bushwhacking and the bushes are whacking me. Well, it looked like the water was going to be on the other side of the bushes, but the bushes are way back there and I'm still hiking on Fishbone Beach. I'm not going to get to the water, but close enough to smell it's good enough for me. There's a bunch of ducks over there. No, they're not ducks. Sandpipers? Killdeers. I don't know, too far away, can't tell. But I stopped because the last guy didn't. And the tracks get real deep out there in the muck, so far enough for me. There's a lot of birds out there. I don't know if you can see them in the camera. Hundreds. Some of them are floating like ducks. They might be coots. Need to get my binoculars. Oh my gosh. It's all kinds of birds. Need to go to the visitor center and learn something. Home again. Good walk. Perfect day. Not a breath of wind. Sun is shining. It's about 65 degrees. Yeah. Oh, smells good in here. What's going on?
I'm cooking a nice roast beef dinner for you.
Pot roast?
Yeah.
Do we get carrots?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Boy, it smells good. As opposed to the Salton Sea, which does not smell good. Well, I guess if you like fish.
Is it clear?
Pot roast in there, huh? All right. Ooh. So the reason for the pot roast yesterday was, for the first time in a very long time, I'm plugged in. I can run the convection microwave with my generator, but not for 4 hours. That would be an expensive pot roast with the diesel fuel. Always something to fix. Hey, I took this lock apart and put a new nylon insert in it because it was starting to wear out and get funky. And now, filled my diesel heater, my little one. And now I'm going to sit right here for a second and contemplate green grass. Been a while since I saw green grass. What kind of a tree is this? Sycamore? Could be. Will the light bark? Guess I better go to the visitor center and learn something. Motocicletas. Rapido. Salton Sea Visitors Center. Let's go in here and see what we can learn. Well, here's one of the things I learned. You're walking along in the forest or the desert and you find some poop. And you always wonder, well, what kind of an animal left that? As you pass by and try not to hurt your foot, as my grandfather used to say when we went into the barnyard, meaning don't step in it. Here you go. What kind of poop is it? Jackrabbit pellets, coyote scat, kit fox dung, bobcat crap, wood rat droppings, horned lizard fecal matter, and snake excrement. We have a lot of words for that stuff, including some we don't use in polite company.
Jerry,
Yeah.
how big is the Salton Sea?
The Salton Sea is 35 miles long and 15 miles wide. So it's about half the size of Lake Chapala, where we live in Mexico.
What else did you learn at the visitor center?
Well, I learned that the geology and the history of the Salton Sea is kind of complicated. Prehistorically, the Gulf of California used to come all the way up to Indio, and the Colorado River, because rivers change their course over the course of thousands and millions of years, would sometimes run into the Gulf of California, and sometimes it would run into the Imperial Valley, which is where the Salton Sea is. In more modern times, in the 1800s, they built a canal to divert part of the Colorado River into the Imperial Valley for agricultural purposes, irrigation. And in 1905, because of really heavy rainfall and snowmelt runoff, a canal lock was breached, and the Colorado River ran into the Imperial Valley for 2 years before they could stop it. The whole Colorado River. In the 1960s, it became a resort community because there's this huge, big sea in the middle of Southern California.
Why is the Salton Sea so salty?
That's a lot of S's, huh?
Yeah.
It's what's known as a terminal lake, meaning all of the water that runs into it, whether it's from rainfall or snowmelt or irrigation, doesn't have anywhere else to go. So the only way the water leaves the Salton Sea is by evaporation. The salinity in the 1960s was around 3%, and today it's around 7%. That increase in the salinity has caused many die-offs of different species of fish. They introduced a lot of different kinds of fish, and back in the 60s and 70s, when it was a popular resort area because it's a big sea in the middle of Southern California, those different kinds of fish have different tolerances for the salt content. So as the salt content rises, different species would die off. One of the worst ones was caused by an algae bloom exacerbated by the agricultural runoff of fertilizers into the lake. The algae bloom was toxic. It killed the fish. 10,000 pelicans ate the dead fish and died. they incinerated pelicans and buried them for a long, long time to get rid of them. Anyway, today the lake is much, much lower than it was back then. All of the marinas and stuff are way away from the actual water. I learned that the sand that I was picking up and feeling, it's not fish scales, it's not fish bones, it's not sand. It's barnacles. Back in the 1940s, the U.S. Army used this as a bomb test place, and they brought in amphibious vehicles to test them, and they didn't clean them off, and barnacles got established in the Salton Sea, and they did really, really well. And today, the beaches are made out of dead barnacles. So that's what I was feeling, barnacles. Hey, we're going to go over to Bombay Beach and over to Slab City to see the artwork. Some people call it artwork, some people call it trash, but we'll be doing that in the next day or so. See you soon. Hey, if you like me, give me one of those thumbs up. And please subscribe and hit that little bell so you know when I post next. Please share me with your friends on social media. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed what was on my mind today.